Well, hello and welcome to Waco PD on the Beat. For this week's episode, we are going to be talking about our victim services volunteers. And this is actually an episode we recorded probably earlier in the Waco PD on the Beat series. And it's just talking about what these volunteers do day to day, how they not only help the citizens of Waco, but the surrounding communities and really the whole county, what our victim services unit does to help. And we need those volunteers. We need you guys in the community to come out and help us with certain incidents that our officers and our community members see happen to them. So throughout this episode, you'll learn about what our victim services volunteers do and also how you can help. Yeah, so we have a new academy coming up for our victim services volunteers. So this is something that's really exciting. If this episode is something that you feel is something that you would want to do, stay tuned, listen in, and at the end of this episode, it has all the details on when the academy is, how long the Victim Services Academy is, and how you can apply. So thanks so much for listening this week. We appreciate it.
I'm Chief Cheryl Victorian. This is Waco PD.
Well, hello and welcome to Waco PD on the Beat. For this week's episode, we are going to be talking about our victim services volunteers. And this is actually an episode we recorded probably earlier in the Waco PD on the Beat series. And it's just talking about what these volunteers do day to day, how they not only help the citizens of Waco, but the surrounding communities and really the whole county, what our victim services unit does to help. And we need those volunteers. We need you guys in the community to come out and help us with certain incidents that our officers and our community members see happen to them. So throughout this episode, you'll learn about what our victim services volunteers do and also how you can help. Yeah, so we have a new academy coming up for our victim services volunteers. So this is something that's really exciting. If this episode is something that you feel is something that you would want to do, stay tuned, listen in, and at the end of this episode, it has all the details on when the academy is, how long the Victim Services Academy is, and how you can apply. So thanks so much for listening this week. We appreciate it.
I'm Chief Cheryl Victorian. This is Waco PD on the Beat. Whether it's crime or just getting to know the Waco Police Department, we're here to talk about things that matter most to you.
Well, hello, Waco, and welcome to Waco PD on the Beat. I'm Sierra Shipley, the Public Information Officer.
And I'm Officer AJ Smith, the Crime Stoppers Coordinator from McLennan County.
Yeah, and we are here to talk about our victim services volunteers. We've got Melissa Sparks here, and she's the Victim Services Volunteer Coordinator. Say that a million times fast. It was a lot of words right there.
You and Isabel both have very difficult titles.
Yes,
is that why you work together?
Victim Services Unit.
Okay.
Yeah, we had Isabel on earlier. She talked about the crime victims compensation. We did talk about how we did talk about how important those volunteers are, which is
they are very important.
Which is what you cover and what you do in that unit. But first, before we get into that, talk about why you wanted to work in victim services and with the police department.
Well, like everyone else, go to college, you have to do an internship. So internship come around, Melissa, which is now my supervisor, come in, started talking about victim services, and it was very interesting. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go this route. So I do the volunteer, go through the Victim Services Volunteer Academy, start going out on calls, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to say I enjoy this because that's really a bad way to say that, and what I mean by enjoy that, I'm able to get out and help victims. A lot of those victims don't really know that these resources that we give them are available to help them. So it was very rewarding for me to be able to do that for somebody. So 3 years go by, and then a position come open, and I applied for it, and I've been here ever since. So this coming December, I have been on with the city for Victim Services Unit for 8 years. So I've done this for a total of 11.
Wow. That's awesome.
It's a lot of people can't say, I don't want to say I enjoy coming to work, but I do enjoy coming to work. Even after 11 years doing this, still ready to come to work. I can't say I do the same thing every day. It might be the same call, but it's always something different.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I'm always learning something new.
And I think, like you say, when you say you enjoy coming to work, and you said this, but I think it's good to explain it, is that we don't enjoy knowing that there's victims out there experiencing these horrible crimes, but we do feel comforted in ourselves to know that we are there to help them get back on their feet. So I think that's the enjoyment.
And that is the enjoyment
that
of
you
it.
say. And so talk about the volunteers then. And the Victim Services Unit is really only consisted of you and then
it's myself and then Isabel, which you said that y'all have talked to, and Melissa. So there's only 3 staff that work during the day. We cover calls. And, of course, you have Melissa. I'm just going to throw her name out there, Melissa Becerra, which is the manager of Victim Services, and of course me. I do go by Sparky, so a lot of the people out there know me as Sparky. I'm the volunteer coordinator, and Miss Isabel King, she takes care of the crime victims compensation. But we all go out, we all do the same thing. We rotate shifts, we rotate call every week. So we're all able to go out and assist the victims and help the community in that same way, which we work during the day. So that's where our wonderful volunteers come in, and they cover, because we are a 24-hour unit. And so we're always available whenever the officers or detectives or whoever needs us, we're always available. So the volunteers will cover, our shifts are from 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening, and then the volunteers will come on and cover from 6 in the evening to 6 in the morning. That's Monday through Friday. And then we have our weekend shifts that are split up into 7 different shifts.
And you guys don't just cover Waco, you cover a huge area.
We actually cover the whole McLennan County area. We get called out for all the other agencies. The Sheriff's Department, all the little agencies, Woodway, Belmead, Lacey Lakeview, Hewitt. So anybody in the McLennan County area, we do cover the McLennan County area.
Yeah, and that's incredible. It's just volunteers. And then
just
the 3
volunteers.
Of you. How many volunteers do you have?
Right now we have 14.
Okay.
Amazing. We have an amazing group of volunteers. I could not ask to work with a better bunch of people.
So you said we have 14 volunteers. How many can we have in total? How many would we like?
We really don't try to cap it at a certain cap, but we're probably going to try to shoot for 2025, and that's just so everybody has there's enough space on the schedule, because we do work off of a schedule to where we don't have a whole bunch of fighting over shifts and who can cover, which is not a bad problem to have, but it kind of can cause a little chaos because some people can't get on, and that's what they join the Victim Services Volunteer Program to do, is to be able to get out in the community to help the victims. And when you can't do that, it's a little disappointing. So we're probably going to go with like 20-25 people.
Very good. I mean, for the whole county, that seems like a good number, right?
Yeah, I was thinking that seemed really low, but I mean, if people love helping.
We've had up to about 40 to 45 people on our roster, and it's tough to get everybody out there.
And that's interesting to hear, because I mean, that's good that we have such dedicated volunteers. Yes. I think that's the number one thing that especially this unit has to look for is that dedication.
Crime Stoppers is an organization which bridges the gap between law enforcement and the community, so together we can solve crimes in our neighborhoods.
Crime Stoppers encourages the community to assist in the fight against crime by overcoming the 2 key elements which inhibit community involvement: fear and apathy.
Crime Stoppers allow citizens to anonymously submit tips. Tips can get you up to a $2,000 reward if it leads to an arrest or solves a crime. Tips can be submitted by calling 254-753-HELP, which is 4357, visiting wacocrimestoppers.org, or downloading the P3 app. Remember, tip submission is always anonymous and can lead to a reward of up to $2,000.
And so explain a little bit about what the volunteer will do on their shift.
So depending on what kind of calls, we do a variety of calls. There's not just one certain kind of call that we do. We do go out on homicides. We do assaults, sexual assaults. We do even do transports. We can take temporary custody of children for CPS, sit with them. That's one of the good perks. We get to spoil the babies and play with the children. So really how it works is I give a schedule to dispatch, and I keep up with that schedule weekly, daily. Dispatch will always have the schedule. They'll know who to call. If it's during the day, of course, they're going to call me, Melissa, or Isabel. The evening shifts, that's where the volunteers will come out. They're always ready. It doesn't matter if it's 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. They get up, they go. We do, as a victim services unit, if you are a volunteer or want to in the future become a volunteer, we provide everything that's needed to volunteer for the unit. We provide vehicles, so you won't have to use your own vehicle to go out on calls, radios, everything that you will need to do the volunteer work. We provide what you need to do that.
That's awesome. So how does it work? You said that the academy is going to start in February. How long is it, and when can people start applying?
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. So now I get to plug that in. So the academy used to be 5 weeks. We've dropped it down to 3. We do cover a lot. It's kind of intense. So I guess that would be kind of a good way to say it's start here, and then you'll know if this is something that you want to do. But we have detectives from all the units that we work with to come in and talk to the volunteers, to let them know, kind of let them see their perspective of what they expect from us, how we work with them, why they call us out, kind of give them an idea of what they're going to be doing on a call. And that is 3 weeks. It's Monday, we do it now. I'm trying not to give you the old date. So it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The academy does happen at the police department. And I just totally went blank.
It's okay. We'll help you get it
back.
So
it is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 6 to 9 p.m. It's a 3-hour class. And we try to get you prepared and educate you to let you know exactly what you're going to be doing. So there's really not any surprises, but there's only so much that can be done in a classroom, which is you experience most of that when you start getting called out and go out on calls.
And then when you're brand new starting to go out on calls, you're not just going to throw these people out.
No, we're not going
right?
to throw them to the wolves. They will partner with somebody until we feel like they're comfortable enough, or they feel comfortable enough to be able to go out by themselves. So we will make sure that our senior volunteers will guide them, show them what they need to do, get them training if they have any questions. The volunteers that we have now are really great about asking them. We're always available. Doesn't matter if it's a question at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's what we're here for.
when can people start applying, and how can they apply?
Apply now. I actually take applications all year round. It used to just be when the academy started, but if someone's interested, I will get their application, hold on to that till it's time to start that process, because there is a process that we have to go through. We will get you in here, get your application done. Then the background check, once that clears, I will call you and get you set up for your fingerprinting, and then you will come in and do kind of a little mini short. We like to kind of get to know you, ask you questions, so you'll have an interview with the staff, and then we will just kind of make a decision from there to see if you're, I don't want to say if you're right, because everybody's right for this position, but, just kind of make sure this is what they want to do and something that they can handle. And we kind of just go from there.
You want to make sure that these people have the want to do this.
Yes.
Explain that heart that these volunteers have, because these people they're not getting paid. They're coming out and they're dealing with other people who are at their worst moments in their life.
And that's where the heart comes in. I mean, you've really got to have that heart to want to help people, to be able to understand, or have that compassion, empathy, to be able to sit with somebody because we're going out on the worst day of their life. So if that is something that you think you can do, and I say, come on, fill out an application, come and meet us, and come and join our wonderful team that we have. But just keep in mind that you are seeing people on their worst days, and I don't want to make it sound like what we do is all bad, because it's not. There are great. We do fun stuff. We do get to get out there, and I mean, you get to meet people. I mean, even if it's a little as an accident and you have to transport somebody from an accident to a rental car. I'm a very social person. To me, I like people. I like talking to people. I like meeting different people. To me, I guess that's what helps our victims is, I try to talk to them, take them away from the bad experience that they're having. And if it's 5 minutes of, okay, I didn't think about that to me, I'm doing my job.
So you kind of said something that made me think, and I don't know the best way to say this, but dealing with people that are going through trauma, what if someone is reluctant to do this because they think they're going to see things that they don't necessarily want to see? Does that question make sense?
I guess how does the volunteer cope with those things? And
as a volunteer, will they be seeing the same traumatic things that they're getting called out to help that person?
Yes. There is a possibility that is something that we do go over. That is actually one of our questions in our interview. We explain that you're going to see that ugly, bad, a deceased person. I mean, and we try to prepare them as much as we can, which it's hard for someone that hasn't never seen that to get an answer, because you can't answer something that you haven't never experienced. So we try to prepare them as much as they can, because, you are going to go out on a fatality or, a homicide or a sexual assault or a really bad assault. So we try to make sure that we ask them the questions, and at any time, if it's something that they don't, you don't have to do this. You're not stuck doing it. We have us as staff, and we also have a team of people that if they need somebody to talk to, they're never alone. We actually tell them, if it's a call, please come and talk to us. Don't hold it in. If it's not us, talk to another volunteer that has maybe experienced the same thing. But, that's something that we really try to drill in, is don't hold it in. Because there's going to be that one call that's going to get you. I mean, you're human, and this isn't something that the everyday person sees.
Should that be a reason not to apply, though? I mean, do you think that someone's fear of having that exposure should outweigh their desire to try and help somebody?
I say if that fear is there, probably is not the thing to do, but we've had people that have experienced really bad things and have turned around and said that this is something that has helped to kind of get over that. So it's good. That's a good question,
say, I guess.
But it's hard to say, no, don't come and do it. I mean, it's really because everybody's different. So they might handle that situation different. But I don't want to say we don't want anybody to put theirself in a bad situation. Or if you're second guessing it, don't do it.
Well, like you said, if those people do have that one call that just, it's hard to keep those emotions inside, and we don't want to do that. We want to be able to talk about them, and there's plenty of people there to talk about, and you guys will help those volunteers get through that process and cope a little bit more with the call that they were on. Well, the Neighborhood Camera Initiative is something you might want to sign up for.
Ring doorbells, Nest cameras, and all the other camera security systems installed on homes and businesses that are facing public areas are tools that could help our officers solve very important crimes.
By signing up your camera or cameras in the Neighborhood Camera Initiative, it allows our officers knowledge to where these cameras are, and if a crime had happened, it could have possibly saw the incident in question.
You can sign up your camera on the City of Waco website at wacopolice.com.
I mean, it seems kind of silly, and I'm pretty sure we all know the answer to it, but why is it important that we have volunteers? Why do we have volunteers in the first place?
Well, honestly, there's only 3 of us. We can't do it by ourselves. Plus, again, it goes back to we're a 24-hour unit. or 24-hour service, and the volunteers. Waco, I have to brag. We have some amazing people here. Having the importance of having volunteers, our unit wouldn't work without them, and the officers wouldn't have anybody to call. Therefore, we will not be able to help victims the way that we help without our volunteers. Our volunteers honestly make our unit work.
Absolutely.
And having been in your office, you've got that wall with your volunteers, and it just amazes me the number of hours underneath each of those pictures. So your volunteers stay very busy.
We have some amazing volunteers. We have one, she's a mother of 5. She has a full-time job, and she puts in just monthly anywhere from 300 to 350 hours just a month. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, all of them are like that. We have we have mothers, we have retirees, we have students that go to school, of course. Some do it for their internship, some just because they're going into the criminal justice field, and some do this as a platform to see. Some may be going for forensics, some may be going to, in the future, become a police officer. To me, this is a great stepping stone. I wanted to do forensics, but my passion is here, what I do now, but it was a stepping stone for me, just for my experience. If I can't handle this, will I be able to handle my job? Because, we go out on the same calls that officers do, our officers, and we don't just get called out on the sidelines. We are actually there on scene with the officers, helping anything that they need other than, and we're not just there for the victims as well. We are also there for the officers. Can't forget about them. They're right. Important. They are a too. Very important part, just like everybody else. But this was a very good stepping stone for me to be able to get out there, have that experience, and just to be able to do something for the community. And mainly the victims. I say the community. The victims are our community, but there are just every day there's just another victim that didn't know that this service was here, or even if they knew our service was here, they didn't know everything that we could offer them, of getting them out of a bad situation, being able to relocate them again. And that's where Isabel also comes in, and she does the crime victims compensation. But there are a lot of rewards, and like you said, it's really hard for me to say. It sounds cruel to say this is a reward, but if we can help a child get out of a bad situation, or a mother with children get out of a really bad family, domestic violence, that we don't have to get called out a month later to, give her family bad news. Mm-hmm. I mean, so to go back to what you said, it's hard to say it's rewarding, but it is rewarding to be able to come in and help a victim get out of a really bad situation, or a child.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I always felt like when I would call for you guys, they would talk to you where they don't want to talk to me. They see the badge, they see the gun, and they're like, no, I don't want to talk to him.
And that can be very intimidating. And that kind of goes back to an earlier conversation that we were having. What you see here now is how we go out on calls. Like I said, we provide our volunteers with everything that they need, uniform. So we don't have that gun belt, that taser, or anything like that. And you got exactly, officers have to go out and work a call. Victims don't, sometimes, other than what you see on TV, you really don't. They don't know what you guys have to do. So I feel like that's the comforting part of us coming in, because we don't have all that. We're somebody there to talk to, kind of take away, also educate them on what you guys are doing as officers, kind of, walk them step by step of what y'all are doing. That tends to kind of, because knowing is better than not knowing, and usually when they know what's going on, it kind of helps them understand, and we get asked those questions. Oh, why are they doing that? What's going on over here? And then that allows y'all also, that gives, when we come out, that gives y'all time to really focus and concentrate on y'all's job.
I think that's a good thing to touch on, AJ, is like you said, people are intimidated. They're nervous. They see this person in a uniform and they're not really sure, like, I know they're there to help me, but it's still a scary situation. And so to see someone just walk up in some jeans and a polo maybe is just a little bit more
Comforting.
It's easier to talk to.
Would you rather cuddle with a robot or a teddy bear? I mean, we got all this hard, solid stuff on our belt, and we're not very approachable sometimes, especially when we're in that robot cop mode.
People don't realize that.
Yes, and you guys are approachable and very nice. And if someone did approach you, you guys obviously are going to attend to that person and
absolutely.
their needs.
But when we're in that robot cop mode, because if it's something you guys are getting called out for, like, we're trying to do a very serious investigation.
Exactly.
And it's game time. Like, we're focused, we're in the zone. Yeah, the victim's there, and I've talked to the victim, but it's very methodical. Like, what happened? What's your name? What did you see?
And then that's where you guys call us in, and we kind of take over.
Yeah.
We do take over.
Yeah.
we like taking over.
I love it, though, because, like, I've seen you guys pray with victims if that's what they want. I've seen you cry with people, hug people, like, show compassion in a way that we can't in that moment. But, when we leave this call, sometimes I'll kick myself because I'm like, I could have done that. I could have prayed with that person too. But
y'all don't, y'all, like I said, y'all have a job to do, and we're grateful when you call us out because, like I said, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
The Waco Police Department is currently looking for those to join our dispatch team as 911 call takers. Being a dispatch operator means being the first to answer the call for help.
As a dispatcher, your job is to answer emergency and non-emergency calls for police, fire, and emergency medical assistance. When you work as a dispatcher for Waco PD, you're helping not only your Waco community, but the entire county.
To apply, you can visit the City of Waco website. We can't wait for you to be a part of the Waco PD team.
Now, I do have a question, is when you talk with the victim that day and then the call's over and done with, is that it?
Nope. We actually, we make sure that we follow up with them. It's not like, hi, nice to meet you. Okay, glad we could help you. See you later. That's not the case at all. The staff, that's usually what we do. Me, Melissa, and Isabel, we will get the calls, read everything, and then follow with that. We try to follow up with the victim within like the next day or within a couple days. But we do follow up with them. There are sometimes they forgot to bring something up, and that's one of the main reasons why we do follow up, because sometimes that next day or the day after we find out that, okay, well, they need help with this, or so it's always a good thing. I mean, sometimes it's just a thank you for being there for us. And then sometimes it's, okay, we need to take this route. So we do follow up. We don't just see them that night or that morning and make them feel like they have been forgotten, because
connecting
they're not.
them to the services that they need to move forward.
And please, if you have any questions, just give me a call. I'll be more than happy to answer whatever needs to be answered. If you need help with the application, or if you just want to come up and see me and I can give you one, you can come to the police department and we can get you taken care of that way.
Yeah, and if they need to call with questions, is that just the 7500 number?
No. If you go to the website, or you can call me at 254-750-7527.
Well, hello, it is Sierra in the future recording this little blurb here. We know that the podcast that you just had watched was a episode that we actually recorded earlier about the Victim Services Volunteer Academy, and we just wanted to update with new information about this time for the Academy, and that is that applications are due August 26th, so that's 1 week from today, which is Friday. But like Sparky said earlier in the episode, even though they may not be accepting applications or doing a new training academy, they're always holding applications for those who maybe might be applying after the due date or anything like that. You never know. And spots could always become available, but the official due date for these applications right now is August 26th, and that academy is actually going to be held from September 12th through September 28th. And they're held 3 nights a week on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings from 6 to 9 p.m. And there's a few requirements, and Sparky also mentioned that too, but we're going to have to complete a background check. A application needs to be filled out. There's going to be fingerprinting and just a little bit of an interview as well. And of course, to be a victim services volunteer, no criminal history is also allowed. So this is just one way, like we said, to get involved in with your community. For those who really have a heart to help, this is definitely something for you. So again, applications are going to be due on August 26th. That academy is going to be from September 12th to the 28th on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings from 6 to 9 p.m. That application can be found either on our Facebook page. Look for the Victim Services Volunteer Academy posts. You can also find it on the City of Waco website and wacopolice.com. You can also just do that by coming to the police department and asking for a volunteer, a victim services volunteer form. And you can fill that out and hand it off to Sparky. And her phone number, like she said, is going to be 254-750-7527 if you have any questions. So thanks so much, guys, for listening to this episode. And we hope you have a heart to come and help us here at the Waco Police Department and, of course, the city of Waco and just the surrounding communities and county. Well, thanks so much, and we will end it off here. Well, Sparky, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And
Definitely.
we hope that, maybe inspired a few people to volunteer for victim services. Well, thank you so much, Waco, for joining us on Waco PD on the Beat. I'm Sierra Shipley, the Public Information Officer.
And I'm Officer AJ Smith, the Crime Stoppers Coordinator for McLennan County.
Have a good one, Waco.
Until next time.
Waco PD on the Beat. The heartbeat serving